second all-time in single game rushing touchdowns with 4. Last shutout for Tennessee State was 41-0 at EIU. Following week 8, the last time Tennessee State was 5-2 and 16. Prior to that, they were 7-1 and 13. Those opening statements.
Good team win. We kind of knew what kind of game it was going to be. You had a team coming in here that was winless, looking for some type of victory. And we knew that coming off of last week, we wanted to avoid the hangover effect. And our boys responded really well. I told them maybe we won that game, through Tuesday and Wednesday. They came out ready. They came out locked in, knowing what the mission was at hand, and we did it accordingly. So I'm not surprised by the result. Just really, I really challenged our team to be the best team that we can be by late October, early November. Let's play our best football. We want to be playing our best football around this time of year, getting better. Now we're going to start to see teams begin to separate, contenders versus pretenders late in the year, and we want to be on that contending side. So, again, great complimentary win. Really like the way we rushed the ball today. Didn't have to throw it too much. The game didn't allow us to do that. So it just allows us to set us up for the next 4 games, which will be conference games.
How good does it feel to be going in with this type of momentum into those games, 3 straight wins?
Yeah, feels really good, Mike. That's what we hope for, to win in October. I just saw a stat where we're 10-2 during my time here in the month of October, and that's where we play our best ball. Now that has to translate over into November. So it feels good to have that momentum. Getting a win like this really means a lot for us, to have some young guys play, let some of the guys who have played a lot get heal up, and almost like a mini bye, if you want to say that. And then we got some wars to play. This is the position you want to be in. You want to have meaningful football late October, early November. And, we'll see what happens with the rest of the conference, but we want to play our best football now.
This rushing attack, you brought it up. I mean, it's really turned out to be ideal with those 2 guys. Mm-hmm. Both of them carried the ball 12 times a day. You rushed for 312 yards. Mm-hmm. Eddie George to have a good rushing attack doesn't surprise anybody, but you hadn't had it the previous 2 years. You
right.
got it now.
Well, it's coming. I wouldn't say we have it now. There's still some things we got to clean up. We still have a ways to go. This unit, we felt like we wanted to impose our will. I thought we did a good job of that. But that has to translate over to teams that are of likable, competitive nature for us. So that was important. I think we're heading in that direction. I think the work that we put in from the spring throughout the summer, and certainly this year in practice, we really pride ourselves on establishing the run and stopping the run. And that's starting to show up at the right time. So now when we play likable opponents, it has to show up in a major way for us.
You're 1 game away. You need one more win to secure a winning record. There hadn't been a winning record here since 2017. Only been 8 winning records since 2000 in the last 23 years. You were asked last week this. I wanted to wait a game to ask, how close are you to turning the corner or getting this program to where you want it?
I don't know, in terms of we're close. I think we're making progress. Where I want to see it is not there yet. We're still growing and maturing. We definitely have got, when I look back from my first year till now, have we gotten better in a lot of areas? Yes. There's been some buy-in, a lot of buy-in to what we're doing and how we do things, how we go about things, how we think about things, how we approach our daily practice on and off the football field. The things that people don't necessarily see that matters is really taking off. It's being on time. It's going to study hall. It's holding each other accountable. It's first in, last out mentality. It's having the guts and tenacity and sacrifice. I mean, it's really living this has paid off. Now we have to get, some more talent in the building from a recruiting standpoint that really could have sustainability, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. So this season really exemplifies the work that these young men have put in, the buy-in that they put in, and they put themselves in this position. And I'm not saying, oh, okay, next week we went to six, when we wouldn't have a winning record. No, that's just a part of the journey. The journey is to finish this thing off strong and find ourselves in a position to hopefully win a championship and play beyond. We're preparing this team to play in November.
Coach, the OVC is still wide open despite your earlier loss. So how locked in are your guys towards that specific goal for this year?
Oh, it's always been a goal of ours. And I told them after the UT Martin game that, hey, a lot of football to be played. And we are finding out who we are. In each and every battle, we're finding out who we are. And it's solidifying our character. We're finding out, okay, we've been battle tested. Okay, we had a game like that where we need a field goal block to win it. We kicked the field goal to win it. We need a 2-minute drive, a 2-minute stop to win a couple. And now we're starting to really push ourselves through this period. So that goal has always been there. And it's not just the OVC, but to get into a playoff. That's the goal. And I think these guys are really starting to see and taste it and feel it and see the work that we put in every single day. So, our attention is turned toward the conference now. It's going to be tough. We have 2 home, 2 on the road. And it's going to be in some hostile environments. So I love it. So that's what we look forward to.
Some of the guys talked about how they kind of had like a come to Jesus meeting this offseason. What does that mean for you as a coach to see the guys really locking in, really buying in, and you didn't have to like go to them, they kind of did it on their own?
It's ownership. We talked about the 3 ships before you even think about hoisting up a championship trophy, and that was leadership, ownership, and relationship. Thank you, Troop. And relationships. So they really worked on knowing each other, and we did that throughout the summer and really understood where they came from, how they got here. You had empathy and compassion, like, wow, I didn't know we had to go through that to get here. And it created a brotherhood. And the buy-in, the ownership is like, before you win a championship team, you have to have complete buy-in. It can't be just talk. I'd rather see a sermon than to hear one any day. It's by actions. And I think the guys are seeing that. So I think they're saying, okay, let's just buy into this. And they have. And we're starting to see the fruits of that. And it's been remarkable. And I'm really proud of them for taking it on. I think now you see the smiles. I mean, the one thing that I love the most today, and it was not necessarily the scoreboard, but how we were cheering for one another. And I told them, I said, we're going to have to generate our own energy. It has to come from within. So when their teammates were out there making plays, that was the most exciting time in the course of the game, because there were some young guys that got in and they grind with them. And that's the real mark of a great team in terms of a brotherhood that you're creating. So to see that, I said, okay, we're on our way. And it's good. It was good to see that.
How has your team started developing a killer instinct? A few games, they were out there, they were, looking dominant, but then they let teams back in the game.
Yep.
This particular game, they put their foot on Lincoln's neck and did not let off.
That's the key. You said it. You said it best. There were games where we jumped out 17-0, 10-0. UT Martin jumped out to a 10-point lead and gave it up, and then we had bad body language, and it's like, oh no, here we go again. So even last week against Norfolk State, 17-0, fumble, let them back in the game, tie score, had a positive response. You almost want games like that to have where you're battle tested, but at some point you say, okay, you stop, turn the mirror around, say, listen, put it on pause. 17-0, that's the moment where you have to press down and apply pressure and keep the pressure on them. You have to be like the anaconda where you move, you keep choking them out. That's the next step for this team. So that's who we are. That's where we're at, and that's the challenge. That obstacle is the way, and it is not going to define us. We're going to have a breakthrough towards that. And I thought today was just that. I told them at halftime. I said, "Up, we're 34-0 right now, but we're going to find out the type of team we are the second half. How are you going to respond?" And they responded in a positive way, and they got a few more scores, defensive turnovers, touchdowns, and we called off the dogs, but it has to continue to build on that part now. So we broke to a new level, and then we have to continue to harp on those things and keep pushing it forward.
Staying with that point, talking about pulling back a little bit, you did get to play a lot of the freshmen, a lot of guys that we haven't seen. What did that mean to you and the coaches to see some of those guys get some
Live action, this is great. A lot of kids, we still want to redshirt them, but we have a chance to evaluate, get them some game experience. Wanted to see what certain guys could do for us. Guys like Ike Brown, who came from Lane College. I thought that he ran really well. He's a guy that we could bring in and start to use him in the game plan because he brings a different type of style at that position, the running back position. We're a little bit more downhill and more punishing. Trey Boone got in a little bit, Ryder Hagan. Just really excited to see some of the guys that play scout team and really give us a good look week in and week out. Celebrate them and let them get some playing time. And it was good to evaluate that.
You showed on the D end with some injuries. TA just came out again. Defensive player of the week last week, probably be again this week. What have you seen in him over the last couple of weeks?
Dominance. TA, we've talked on a few occasions, and just watching how he has matured into an All-American type of player. Talking about national All-American type player is remarkable. I'm glad that he's coming back next year for us. Look forward to next year, but he's a guy that's a difference maker at that position, and we're going to need him to be dominant at the back end. He's a game changer, and sometime you're going to have to really address, well, do we have to double team him? Do we have to slide protection to him? And it allows the other defensive linemen to eat as well. So he's been a force.
So week 8, you've had 2 shutouts in week 8 since you've been here. You're outscoring teams 119-17. You talked about late October, November. You played here in October, November. What is it about late in the season where teams kind of get together like that?
What's funny? During my playing career, we had some slow Septembers as the Titans, and then we put it on in October. And I guess it's just that. It's just that mentality. It's when the weather changes, it's getting colder. It's that tenacity that I'm talking about, where we grind a little bit harder and we're finding out who we are, and we just continue to get better. And that's the precedence that I hold, is that we need to be playing our best football at this time of year, and that goes to the time I got here till now. And now we're starting to see us press on the gas a little bit in everything that we do in terms of our preparation. Good?
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you. So, and the attendance was great today. The people that was here was really engaged. So glad you came out.